I guess a related question to workflows in particular, but more of an AML slant to it. So when it comes to AML compliance, are there tactics conveyancers can use to make it part of a more seamless workflow rather than feeling like it's something that's sort of getting in the way of getting on with the job?
Yeah, I think definitely there's definitely strategies and things you can take on board when you're thinking about this sort of thing. And making sure it becomes part of like daily operations, I think is super important. So making sure that you've got like processes that make it so it's like implemented up front, make it part of the standard process when you're onboarding all new matters, clients, depending on how you work. I mean, some of these have been alluded to already, but utilizing technology that automates part of the processes, and that could be ID verification, there could be other elements as well, and running these things in parallel so you're not doing one and then the other, and then because that all adds into time. So the more that you can kind of run these things kind of simultaneously in parallel to each other, where possible, can help you be more efficient and ultimately give you a richer picture when it can. Consider like using the client-led technology. So we kind of talked there a little bit around this kind of idea of where you can take a step away and make it so it's client-led and the client is doing the heavy lifting in some respects. That allows you to complete elements of the AML requirements at the client's convenience. It makes it so that they can access it as and when they need to, putting them kind of in control, I suppose, and in that position. Standardized workflows is a good one as well, where AML checks are like triggered automatically, key transaction milestones. So thinking about where those opportunities are, and conveyancing is actually quite a nice one, maybe compared to other areas of the legal market where there is quite nice points where you can think about things and trigger things like with milestones, ensuring like the compliance process like aligns with the natural break points in the conveyancing process, I think really helps as well. Making sure you've got clear internal policies. If it is new technology, making sure everybody's super clear. You've got checklists that are embedded within like the AML requirements and what people need to be thinking about into like existing processes rather than making it separate, I think is super important. And then the last one I would mention is training staff. Super important that we're training our staff, not just on technology, but AML as a whole, building confidence and efficiencies into handling the kind of stuff that they're going to be handling as part of like their daily work, and making sure that that training's continuous as well. And it's not just kind of one-time event. If you implement tech, often training's up front and you do it really heavy-handed at the start, but you might have been using it 6 months and actually just thinking about, okay, do we need a refresher? Do we need to think about it? And not just actually on using the technology, but actually on the interpretation of what you're seeing and what does that mean? If you've got a flag, for example, on an IDMV report, what does that mean? Where do I go next with that? Because saving things blindly onto our files potentially will lead you into a troubled path. And started the session by mentioning inspections, and now you don't want to leave yourself wide open. So yeah, I think training's super important to this process as well.